Hello and welcome to today's episode of Thrive After 45. I'm Denise Drinkwalter, heart whisperer, midlife mirror, and mentor. And every week I am honored to share energy and space with inspiring guests whose stories reflect so many possibilities of thriving beyond 45. Together, we'll uncover the whispers of the heart, the power of midlife transformation, and the wisdom that fuels expansion. What if the anxiety you've been carrying isn't who you are, but simply something that's been waiting to be released? It is an honor and a privilege to welcome Kerie Logan to Thrive After 45 today. For 25 years, Kerie has been guiding individuals into deeper awareness, healing, and transformation as a clinical certified hypnotherapist and human consciousness guide. And for 15 consecutive years, she has been voted Best Hypnotherapist in Salem, Oregon, a reflection not only of her expertise, but of the profound trust that her community places in her work. Kerie has supported thousands of people through anxiety, fear, depression, anger, feeling stuck, inner child healing, parts therapy, and the clearing of generational trauma. But what makes her work distinct is this. She does not simply address the symptoms. She guides people into deeper layers of consciousness where patterns are formed, beliefs are stored, and where true transformation begins. Today, we can explore what it truly means to be a human consciousness guide and how healing becomes possible when we move beyond coping and into awakening. Kerie, welcome. Such a gift to have you with us here on the show today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for all that you do, Denise. It's fabulous. Thank you.
We have to dig right in. What does a human consciousness guide do? What is that?
So the best way to describe it is someone that will sit with you and hear your pain story. What's going on? What's keeping you stuck? Are you living a life of constant anxiety? Are you living a life of consistent fear and hypervigilance and second guessing yourself and unable to trust other people? Like really what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
And I listen to your story and I kind of really hear the words that you choose because the words that you choose help me to decipher and decode what is your set point. And so if you are a person that constantly has anxiety and fears, you're set at the set point of 100, which is where you're restless, you have irritability, you're withdrawn, nervousness, guarded, suspicious,
Mm.
fear, failure, second guess yourself often. And I figure out, was this a learned behavior that was modeled by your parents?
Mm.
And I always say it was unintentional and unconscious. Our
Sure.
parents don't say like, "Ooh, I'm going to scream you up, Denise. Oh, I can't wait to ruin this child's life." No, they
Yeah.
don't. And even though we might think or perceive that, oh, they were horrible parents, no, they probably did the best that they could because
Right.
their childhood was way worse than yours was.
Mm.
And so it's really opening up that, think about it as you're stuck in a dark room and you
Hmm.
cannot find the door out to happiness and just peace of mind. And what I do is I walk you up the steps to shift your perspective by putting light in that dark room. And you'll
Mm.
go like, "Oh, I never thought about that. Oh, I could see it that way. Oh, that could be a possibility." So a good example is
Hmm.
I met a gentleman several months ago. I've only had to work with him 3 times, but when he came to me, he had such bad anxiety that me being an intuitive empath, his energy even bugged me. I mean, it was like,
Yep.
ooh, like yes.
Yep.
I found out that that was what you would consider generational trauma. It was passed down by his great grandmother. His
Mm.
mother displayed the same extreme anxiety behaviors, always, like fearful and hypervigilant, that he just absorbed it all like a sponge, took
Yeah.
it all in. And so when I did a hypnosis process with him, I spoke with that little wounded boy that was always so scared and frightened. And I educated it and I let it know that, hey, this isn't your authentic self. This was just passed down. And I wanted to heal it and give it a new job where, yes, you can be grounded, balanced, and centered in the face of chaos,
Mm.
to where you can respond instead of react.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. And it was amazing. And so after I recorded it, I told the gentleman, listen to this for 30 days.
Okay.
And you're rewiring your brain. I mean, when you think about it, is you have this wire here that is all anxiety, fear, fear, fear. And what you're doing is you're deadening and deactivating it. And you're
Okay.
creating a new positive one. So each time you listen, you're creating that neural pathway, that synapses, and you want it to anchor in. So that
Right.
becomes the main personality.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. And so the second time I saw him, it was like he was a completely different guy. I was just like, wow. And
Isn't
he, and
that?
it was
Oh,
great because then he was at the point of wanting to look at his relationships and
yep.
why my relationships aren't working. So
Yep.
then we unpacked that.
Right.
This is why, and you have to, and for him, it was all about his self-worth. He
Mm-hmm.
was picking people that would kind of dominate the relationship. And I'm like, no, you're in your 50s.
Yep.
This should be, what do you want? How do you want to be loved? What does intimacy mean to you?
Right.
So we worked on that and it was so great. And I remember getting a text from him one day going, now I know what you mean about know my worth and my value.
Aw.
And yeah, and even though, some people say, wow, this guy's in his 50s, I'm like, it's never too late.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah.
never too late because now he's having healthy relationships. He
Yes.
knows what r- unconditional, genuine love is instead of superficial love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really helping people unpack the things that are holding them back in life to really thrive and be the best version of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you find that the people that come to you are extreme like that, or do you have others who are like, I know there's that feeling, there's something more for me and I can't access it. Can you help me figure that out?
Oh yeah, I've had people come that experience toxic relationships and put so many walls around them, but now the walls don't serve a purpose, but they
Right.
don't know how to dismantle them.
Yep.
And I help them dismantle the walls. There's some people that had narcissist abuse,
Yep.
and that was extreme for them, and they don't know what is a healthy relationship, and they
Right.
question, can I have a healthy relationship? Can I find real love? Because all I've found is, rotten apples.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it really is, there's many different areas that people, come to me and want help. But the beauty is when I see them again, it's like they're a completely different person. And
Hmm.
it just makes my heart beam because it's like, no, this is a gift you gave yourself.
Yes, exactly. It was within you. I
Yes.
I was a catalyst, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I say I'm the tour guide. You're the one taking the journey.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah. Great
Yeah,
way to put it. Yeah, great way to put it. Because a tour guide, everybody hears the same information, but everybody absorbs it differently because they're in different spots
right.
in terms of their journey, right?
Right. And that's why I called it a human consciousness guide. I didn't want to call it a coach because I'm not coaching you. I'm
Right.
guiding you and you having those aha moments. You going, "Oh, I didn't realize that."
Yeah.
And then deciphering, okay, what works for you? And it's amazing because I remember one guy that was married to a narcissistic woman. She did
Hmm.
horrible things for he like wanted to forgive her so bad,
Mm.
and he was in his 70s. And in
Hmm.
20 minutes I took him from the place of regret and guilt and anger all the way up to love and joy, and he was like he was laughing. He's like, "What did you just do?" And I said, "I shifted your perspective." And he's like, "Oh my God, I can actually forgive her now." And I said, "Yes, you really can. You don't need to hold on to that resentment because that resentment clouds your perspective when you're trying to date someone new."
Right. Totally. I could see how that would happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you tap into, I'm just getting this incorrect in my mind. You tap into the subconscious. So the people that come to see you are not necessarily doing the heavy lifting for the work.
In some, well, you look at it is think about it is we're lifting stones. Think about you're in a garden and you're lifting up rocks and there's little secrets and hidden stuff under the stones.
Okay.
So we're kind of, you think about it, you're lifting a stone up and you're going, well, like for example, what was your ex-wife's life like? Like what
Hmm.
was her childhood like? And really shifting it to where you get out of the victim mentality
Hmm. Hmm.
and you get into the perspective of everybody has a story, everybody
Mm,
has a journey. And the beauty of it is I tell people at the end of it, it's just information. Because that was what? 10 years ago, 15 years ago, how many years ago? It's just information.
right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now you have a choice to decide, what do I want to do with that information? Do I want it to still cloud my judgment
Right.
and, my perception of the world, or am I ready to let it go?
Yes. Yeah. Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
And do you find that people tend to go to the latter, letting it go? I want to let it go. That's why I'm here. I want to help myself, right?
A lot of people want to let it go. And sometimes I
Mm-hmm.
give people homework and I
Mm-hmm.
it's like, for example, one gentleman, he loved his wife so much and they got divorced because she became a drug addict and she was hiding her addiction from him for
Oh,
years, and he wanted to be that white knight and save her, but he couldn't. And I said to her, well, she's teaching you one, the hardest lesson we all as humans have to learn, that's unconditional love.
yeah.
And two, she's your greatest teacher. So can you see what gifts she gave you?
Mm-hmm.
And at
Mm-hmm.
first he was so puzzled, like, what do you mean what gifts she gave me?
Right.
And I said, well, you just sat here and told me that um, you're a religious guy, you're a Christian, and before, meeting her, God was like you ordering takeout. And now, because of this horrible experience you went through, you pray every day. You walk hand in hand with God. That's a gift.
Mm-hmm.
That is a beautiful thing. Even though it came out from a horrible situation, that's a
Right.
gift,
Right.
and he looked at it and I said, and what else has she taught you? She's taught you healthy boundaries. She's taught you what is unconditional love instead of conditional love. She taught you to know your worth and your value. Look at all
Yeah.
the gifts she gave you.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the thing is you get out of that victim mindset, and I said, and count your blessings, you're not her. So
Right.
instead of praying, that she, just pray that she finds her way.
Yeah.
you
Yep.
know,
Exactly.
because and I said that's the biggest thing I teach people too is you got to step out of the human experience and into
Yes.
the soul experience because your soul is here on earth to learn lessons.
Hmm.
Everybody is a teacher and student for one another.
Hmm.
So, what is she here to teach you?
I love that lens. It's a
Yeah,
perfect lens. Yeah.
it is because when we get stuck in the
Yeah.
human lens, it's all emotion. It's all, "Ugh." But
Yeah.
it's like, no, step out of it. It's here so you evolve.
Right. Right. It has a purpose, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And as soon as we learn the lesson, it's gone because,
Yeah.
as you know, if you don't learn the lesson, it's going to repeat, repeat, repeat. And it's horrible when it repeats.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm smiling with my hand up. Yep, I've had a few repeat lessons and I know there's more in the horizon.
Yes, it's never ending.
Yeah, and nor should it be
Yes.
because my feeling and belief system is when I stop learning, then it will be my last breath. Let's hope that's how my life continues, right? Because that's who I am at the core. I'm a person who always loves to learn. The hardest learning, I think, sometimes is those lessons because we are blinded. We are so close to the situation that it gets so bad that we get woken up, right?
Yes, but I always say without great chaos, there cannot be great
Mm,
change.
love that. I love
And
your sayings.
yeah, and so it just it
Yeah.
it it has to happen and it's like you're kind of being forced to wake up.
Hmm.
Wake up and smell the coffee, wake up to, the
Yeah.
reality of really what's going on.
Yeah.
And because here's the truth, we can gaslight ourselves.
Of course. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, huge. Even people with toxic positivity can gaslight themselves. I mean, I've
yes.
worked with one client that she was so positive, so wonderful, but when I told her you keep gaslighting yourself and she didn't know what it was, and when she looked it up, she literally broke down crying going, "Oh my God, you're right."
You're right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I know you want everything to be roses and everything to be beautiful, but let's be honest, there's
Hmm.
jerks in this world. There's unkind people in this world,
Yeah.
and they're here to teach you to set healthy boundaries, to
Yeah.
speak your truth, not out of fear, but out of strength and purpose.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And that's why we do this show to bring this information to our audience so that people can see. In particular, I find women in midlife, our core audience, I always wonder, is there a reason why our physicality hits certain milestones at certain points so that we get to take that pause and reflection when our body's going crazy with all the hormones? That's our time to, whoa, start to give back to yourself, start to remove yourself from everybody else's life and look at yourself as a person now. And now is your time to shine and do what is best for you in this journey of life, right? So I'm
Well,
curious.
and get out of the mindset that it's selfish to do that.
Oh my gosh.
That is huge. So many women are
Yeah.
programmed, conditioned to think that, no, you're being selfish if you do that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, who sold you that lie?
Yeah. It's so true. I believe it was Abraham Hicks in one of her multiple hundreds of thousands of sessions she does, talked about people who'd say, well, you're being selfish. And what are they asking for? Your time. It's like, whoa,
Yeah.
there's a good mirror, you know? Yeah.
Well, yes, and people project their issues upon us, and
Mm,
it's really learning to know. I always tell people, know the key words about toxic people, what
mhm.
what is gaslighting, stonewalling, undermining, projecting. When you know all that and you
Hmm.
then see it being displayed, you're like, "Oh my gosh, they've been
Yeah.
doing this to me all along and I had
Yeah.
no clue."
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And isn't it beautiful that they can now see it for what it
Yes.
is and be able
Yes.
to respond, like you say, and not react?
Yes, and I tell people, of course, at first you will get angry. I mean, who doesn't?
Well,
But don't
mhm.
stay in that
Yeah.
mindset of anger, rise up out of it and be like, okay, now that I have this information,
Yes.
what's the best path forward for me?
And there it is right there. There's the icing on the cake. What is the best path forward for me?
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we do this work for you, by you, because of you, not for anyone
exactly.
else.
Well, and when you think about it, when you do this work, your whole world changes.
Yeah.
You're a happier person. The people around you see you're happier. You're now thriving. You wake up in the morning with purpose and meaning, and you feel good about the world instead of waking up and you're just bitter and angry
Yeah.
and resentful.
Yeah. And we know when that carries on that dense negative energy, it will impact our bodies because it holds energy in our bodies and then we become sick. So you become your own worst enemy. So it's like, well, we're trying to show you the power of taking control and taking the steps forward to move your life and do things for you, by you, because of you, like I mentioned. Yeah.
Well, yes, you're 100% because it is what I like to say, dis-ease. It's a dis-ease. You have all this dense, trapped negative emotions within you, it festers and then it does form an illness. I mean, the perfect book I use all the time is The Secret Language of Your Body. And this woman had so many health issues that
Hmm.
she connected with divine healing intelligence and cured herself.
Yeah.
It's a fabulous, amazing book. And whenever I work with anyone with health conditions, I pull out that book and I read them. Here's the probable cause. Yes.
For
Love
those
that.
for those of you who are
Yeah.
watching on YouTube, it is called The Secret Language
Yeah.
of Your Body: The Essential Guide to Health and Wellness by Ines Segal. Yeah.
It's my
So
Bible.
I
Yeah.
well, you saw I just pulled it up from
Yeah.
from above my head. It is very powerful and it all makes sense when we
Yes.
look at our lifetime trajectory the way that you've been explaining it and sharing it here. Totally.
Because once you clear it, it's like you have more energy. You feel better. I mean, it's so amazing. Well, and it lines into, the placebo effect.
Mm-hmm.
If you really, really believe that I can transform my body and all of this, I mean, even that book, The Secret Language of Water, the power
Mm-hmm.
of water.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to make that experiment where you bless your water and stuff, I mean, heck, do it.
Right?
I mean, the water is alive, the molecules and all of that.
Yeah.
We there's so amazing things that we can do. It's just
Abs.
fabulous.
Yeah. And we don't when we don't know, but once we get the knowledge, once we become informed, we can make different choices that benefit us
Yes.
long term. Totally. Yeah.
Yes.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. Is there anything that I mean, there's so much we've talked about, and I know there's so many other pieces that we've missed, but is there anything you would love to leave our audience with as we get ready to close our conversation today?
I think the biggest thing is, especially for women, as our bodies are changing and the hormones, and we gain those extra pounds and our hair gets thinner and
Hmm.
all, and we get lines and all that stuff, is to really just show yourself grace.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the most important thing because all of us, when we were in our 20s or whatever, thought, oh, I'll never be overweight. Oh, I'll always be this, I'll always be that. But, things happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Accidents happen. Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, things always happen. And so I tell people, just give yourself a little bit of grace, be kind and gentle and patient with you as you would your best friend, and talk to yourself. please talk to
Mm.
yourself as you would someone you love and adore, because we at times can be our worst enemy and say the most horrific, horrible things to ourselves. And our body does listen, it
Yeah.
does respond. So when we have these transitions and changes, look at it as you're just a fine wine.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
You're getting better with age,
Yeah.
and enjoy it, really,
Yeah.
and enjoy it. I mean, because people ask, well, my husband and I, there's this game we do, like, would you rather? And one of the questions was, would I rather be immortal when I was 22 years old and have the mindset of a 22-year-old, or would I rather wait until I'm 40 and have the mindset, and that of a 40-year-old? And both my husband and I were like, oh, 40. No,
Yep.
no, yes. Oh, I was still stupid when I was in my 20s.
It's amazing how wisdom comes with
Yeah,
maturity and experience, right?
yes, yes,
And I think we get to hold that with care and compassion, right? Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Instead of deflecting it and trying to change it, because the reality is everybody ages every day.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it's what we do. It's life. It's how it works. And what a blessing to be able to be in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Like what a blessing to wake up to see the next day, because as we know, many people don't get that opportunity. So if you look at it like you shared before, look at it through a different lens, a
yes.
possibility, your whole world will change with you, you know, without having to do a whole lot.
Yeah, it's true. And I just to let your listeners know too, I
Mm-hmm.
offer a free 15-minute consultation. You want to talk to me and just see, like, hey, am I a good match? Check. If I feel
Great.
like I'm not a good match, I will tell you, well, these are your options, or this is, listen to this, or, I recommend this book, or try that. But yeah,
Wonderful.
I'm here to make the world a better place. So
And
that's
we are so grateful because of it. We'll have all of your contact information in the show notes. So make sure you jump into the show notes to grab that 15-minute consultation. You don't want to miss out on that.
And there's
Thank
lots
you.
of free images on the websites too. There's
Yeah,
free meditations. There's a lot of free stuff for people to try.
wonderful. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here today, Carrie, and sharing with us. And I want to share before we close something very gently and clearly at the same time. So, this November, I will be hosting a live in person experience, and we're calling it Ignite the Inner Uprising. It's a 2-day immersive gathering for 1,200 women in midlife years, women who are feeling a quiet pull towards something more truthful, more embodied, more fully their own. Ignite is an extension of these types of conversations that we have on Thrive After 45. It's where reflection becomes embodiment, where insight becomes integration, where women who have held so much for others gather to stand fully in their own sovereignty. So, if something in today's conversation stirred in you, if your body started to lean in, that may not be accidental. The wait list is now open, so if Ignite feels like something your future self would thank you for, I invite you to add your name. The link will be in the show notes. And as always, follow, share, like, give us a review so that more women can find these powerful, incredible conversations. There is a place for us to gather. Have a wonderful day. Thank you again, Carrie, for
Yeah.
your brilliance and sharing. And let's thrive after 45.